Hey, what's going on YouTube? It is time for our Beige Carpet After Party live stream review for live stream number 72 that we just watched on the 18th of September, a Monday of all days. And we're here with some favorite friends and guests, dbarry, Flip Method, Sinzar, and Sketch to talk about it. And you guys know who all them are, so I'm just gonna let them say hello really fast, and then we're gonna dive right into some questions and some slides and have a good night talking about it. So go ahead, guys, whoever wants to say hello.
Hi, friends.
What's up, guys?
What's going on? Update 72 better than Annie.
It was. It really was.
Hello, everybody.
It's hard to say, but like I kind of agree that it was like better than the anniversary stream, and hopefully better than the weeks kind of following the anniversary. We'll see what's coming up. But before we go too far into that, let's talk about some questions really fast. This first one really important. The general sense that I've heard from our community is that people are worried about the state of the game. Real briefly, do you think that this stream reflected that or addressed that appropriately?
To be honest, not really. I mean, the stream is amazing. It was super hype. I'm incredibly good content. It covered amazing things. The only thing that directly addressed the recent negativity we've been having in the community would be the very last slide where they mentioned they're going to fix Ellis-Spears. That's probably the only thing that directly covered some of the criticism people have had recently. And that was amazing. I can't wait till we get to that to talk about it. But honestly, other than that, it felt kind of like they just ignored that and stayed on script for the most part.
Pretty much. I mean, it's cool.
I think it actually it goes backwards a little bit to like how the game felt like 2 maybe years ago, where you're getting like a collab that's like, it feels important. It's like, man, these are like units that can bring people in that are fans. It's got content to go with it. It's not just the unit. You know, I'm like, okay, I feel like it's a pretty good step in the right direction, you know?
I appreciate that they gave us things that we've been asking for in a lot of ways, but they didn't do much to address the game as a whole. They addressed one very specific thing that people have had a problem with, and it's like, I don't know. It's like if I chop your arm off and then also kick you in the knee, but I help you, put an ice pack on your knee, you might forget the fact that you're bleeding out from your arm. It's kind of how it feels at the moment, because it's just, it's not hard to conceptualize that the game's not in a great place, honestly, but you kind of expect fatigue after 7 years of the same content type over and over. I'm so baffled by so much of the decision making that while this stream was absolutely incredible and I want to take nothing away from it, so we'll focus on the good, the last month or two, really, anniversary included, have been some of, if not the worst stretch of game that I have ever played in this game so far.
I think that they actually did more to. They didn't just, I think, solve one problem. They didn't address just one thing. I think if you kind of like look at it a little bit, maybe a bigger spectrum, you do see how they during all the wide range of slides they did, I think, touch more than just one thing. That was a specific issue. We'll talk about that as we get there, but I do agree with you in general. Anything from you, Sketch, before we move on?
Sure. So yes and no. Yes, because they noticed that the community is upset about some unit things on multiple units, actually. Surprise. That they're going to work and fix. But no, because, like, I guess kind of a spoiler, a little upset that it didn't talk about, like, the price changes and stuff for the banners, and like not to spoil, we didn't get to see the banners, which like felt really bad to me personally, because I am, not to be negative, I am scared of how much collab banners are, because we haven't seen one since the price hike.
Ooh, that's a good point. Question number 2, did you complete the survey about August, and did you have any opinions about it that you have maybe not shared yet? They threw up the survey in the middle of chat, in the middle of the live stream, like when they went on that break, and like made sure that, hey, make sure you do it. They talked about like getting the lapis and stuff and giving them feedback. Have you guys all completed it?
I did. I did like a whole thing.
Yep.
Whole video talking about it. I assume people that watch Brave XP stuff have probably maybe seen that, but yeah, I took it and I had lots of opinions about it, and I went for like an hour talking about it. But yeah, it's definitely a good survey, and I'm really glad they conducted the survey.
I didn't actually complete the survey because I've been playing the game for a long time, and I've put a lot of input into lots of things, and I've seen a lot of surveys go absolutely nowhere, to where like if there's a room full of 10 people and 9 people say, hey, we'd like permanent content, and the 10th guy goes, can you charge me $600 for a unit? They go, yes, we can charge you $600 for a unit. So like they just take whatever's the financially most profitable thing in the immediate now suggestion and toss all the rest, is the way I've always felt like sort of recently. And so I just didn't complete it because I was like, I don't want to yell into the darkness.
And you don't want 500 lapis either.
I don't want to waste my time for 500 lapis because it'll make me feel bad.
Okay.
So I'm like the opposite opinion. I think we should have these monthly, and I think they should cover every content that we got that month, so people can comment on it, whether they read it or not. There's a lot of people out there that just want to see some type of physical effort from the company. But I feel like reviews and stuff like this monthly are very good. For the health of the game, whether or not they're listened to or not. You can't make people out of any business listen to you. However, I feel like if people see that they at least look like they're trying, which they may or may not be, I can't say, and allow you to vent your opinions about the game, whether they're good or bad, that'll just make a lot more people happier. And this isn't very hard for them to set up once a month at all.
No, it's really not.
I can agree with that. It is better for the company to allow people to vent whether they're read or not.
All right, last question before we dive in. Did anything totally surprise you about tonight's previewed content and information?
Absolutely.
Yes. Definitely.
Yes. Multiple things 100%. For me. And
yes,
and I think
we'll talk about all of them.
And I think that's good. I think being surprised is good. Not just because like, okay, this is global, so we shouldn't just like be excited about JP things. Like I don't know. I think there were several things that were like way out of left field. Like, whoa, I can't believe they're doing that. So
I think what was unique for me for this month was at no point did I feel like let down. And that was unique for me for one of these streams. So
you did say best stream since the anniversary, so there you go.
Yeah.
Number 72. Here we are. Okay. So first and foremost, they started out with our surprised guest. Wasn't really surprised. They did preview it in the news or the bulletin about it, so that's pretty cool. So we had them there doing our talk, and they jumped right into it with our collaboration for Parasite Eve. So I'll go first and say that I happen to have just never played Parasite Eve. What about you guys?
Oh yeah, I played it. I am hyped over the moon for this. I loved it.
Awesome.
Very good games.
I played a little bit at my friend's house back in like high school or something.
Yeah. I remember like this I remember coming out in when I was in middle school. So like I was more like a Resident Evil guy, more than a Parasite Eve guy, I guess. But yeah, for sure.
I'm really glad that this collab is coming after we voted on it like years ago. So.
That's what you were mentioning, that this came up at one of the fan events, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, LA fan event, the Fan Festa from 2018. It was voted on there, and I think was like the third winner, but the other winners were like Kingdom Hearts and like other collabs that we already had.
So then, Sinzar, since you played the game and loved it, how do you feel about their representation here of the sprites and the artwork?
This is perfect because the base form sprite is pretty much her sprite for the majority of the game. That's like her casual outfit, etc. And then the shift form sprite in the like opera dress, that's how the game starts. The game starts off with her going to the opera with a date of hers, and then the main star of the opera, Melissa, gets taken over by Eve, and then she literally burns every single person in the opera theater and murders them all. And Aya is immune to the spontaneous combustion power of Eve through spoiler reasons in the game. But she's the only person immune, so she's the only one that can save the day and battle Eve, etc. That's how the game goes on.
Oh.
But like the sprites are perfect. They're literally exactly how it was in the game. The left is her most of the game sprite, and the right side is the intro to the game sprite.
So I guess you're talking about like this situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from
Yep,
the, from
right
the,
there.
from
After
the
the
vision
is
card.
killed by Melissa.
Well, so that was funny because in the chat somebody was like, "Hey, they don't show the audience," and as somebody who's never played it, I'm like, "Is there something to that commentary?" Okay, so yeah, okay, interesting, exciting stuff.
I like that they took like the first scene of the game as like the whole inspiration for our event. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting way to introduce people to the game. And they also showed us some sprites and artwork for the enemies as well. I assume these are like important to the lore of the game.
Mm-hmm. The one on the left is Melissa after she's taken over by Eve and she like mutates into a monster. And she's the primary bad guy for the majority of the game. And then at the very end of the game, she gives birth to the ultimate being, which is like all the genetic makeup of humans perfected, turns into the ultimate being. And then that's her baby. And then the baby over the course of 30 minutes goes from baby, child, adolescent, adult, elderly, and then ultimate evolution. And you actually fight all the forms as the final boss. It keeps evolving during the fight. It's really cool.
That's rad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad that the sprites and artwork are like they're like true to each other. That's a really nice representation, I think. Real quick, they showed us that we're gonna be getting these wallpapers. So pay attention and get the wallpapers. And then they kind of went on this like long thing about how hard it was to get the collaboration for FFBE. So what did you guys think of that part? Like where they were talking about how collaborations come into play and how they work that out. What did you guys think about that?
More of that, please.
Really, I found that it dragged out a little bit. Like going over it in 3 or 4 minutes is fine, but it must have been 10 minutes, 15 minutes of just going. We tried to get the rights, we couldn't. We couldn't draw the sprites when we tried. It's like it just like we get it. It was hard, but we don't need to hear it's hard for 15 minutes.
They repeated
That's
themselves
how I
a
felt.
lot is the issue that I had with it.
Yeah.
And bringing it up is a big deal, and I like that part, but they just repeated the same things that they said over and over, and I'm like, well, okay.
I feel
Okay,
like
I
we've
can't
heard
agree
all
with
of
you
this
that went
before
long.
too.
Yeah. And the other part of that too, which was like outside of maybe their control, was that the translation voice was really quiet at first, but then they did eventually fix that, which was good. So cool. Do you guys like these wallpapers? Are you gonna download one of these wallpapers for your mobile device?
Honestly speaking, I've used the same wallpaper for 10 years. Probably not.
Yeah.
I use my default.
What do I even
game with?
What do I even have right now? Oh, I've got the Moogle one from the last event that they gave out.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the like baby blue one. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's neat.
Yeah.
They look good. I'm sure some people will love these.
Yeah. Cool. Now, they took a brief break from talking about Parasite Eve to talk about popularity polls, and so they showed us this slide first that has all these units on it. And they said this is going to be like a 2-part event, and showed talked about like kind of voting for your favorites. And then they showed this second slide where they said that voting period 1 starts on the 28th of this month, and voting period 2 starts on the 26th. And I was having a hard time keeping track of the two. Wasn't one of them like included global exclusives and the other one didn't?
Yes.
Okay, so who caught the details of that? Because I was busy kept taking pictures. What was the deal there?
The first one includes all the Glex units, and the second one is just FFBE originals with Glex excluded.
Okay. So
the second one is like only Brave Exvius units. Is not like
Correct.
Lost Bards and stuff.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, it's not Final Fantasy units, it's FFBE, but only
Yes.
from like the JP side.
I see.
So no, insofar.
So for those
We're not
people who
going
like
to
really like
include
that
mainline
one like
Final Fantasy
lightning
games.
sword guy.
Oh yeah.
Ryuko.
Yeah.
Lightning.
I think this
Sword
is
Guy.
super hype for what it's worth. Like
There's
the
the-
non-Glex
this-
part, super
Yes.
hype.
Yeah, I think non-Glex is fantastic, and I love it because there's so many good units that we've been introduced to over the years that just feel abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
There are some that have really cool, like some 4-star units that have just really, really great looking sprites, like Tomoe, for example.
Absolutely.
Has a really, really cool looking
Got it.
sprite, but you never use her.
Amazing art too. They made a like fantastic like full art for every one of those units too, and it just gets not noticed
Yep.
in art books, and that's it.
So, so for the first one, then, if it's the ones that
Ong.
includes Glex, thank you, Barry. Thank you.
Anytime.
Anytime. Ong.
Happy to be here.
And this is my moment. Oh, go ahead.
Is he even on there? Is he even on there?
He's
I don't
not
even see
on the
him.
picture. Okay, so we'll put my tin hat on.
Yep.
So no, Ong is not on that picture, and historically, we know what that tends to mean. Now, I'm taking this picture with a grain of salt because they felt inclined to put Elespris on it twice in 2 different forms, and we have the newest Malphase, and I just feel like they slapped some stuff on here because there's no Ong, there's no Yun, there's quite a few units that are missing here. But Ong did place top 10 in the last popularity contest. And if they really want to shut me up, because I know how much everyone loves when I talk about Ong, it just gotta happen. Just let me have this.
And I would just
Let
like
me-
to
let
say,
me have this in particular.
I would like to say, Titus, this goes out to you. Barry is talking about Ong, not me. Okay, and he's going to talk about Myra in a second, and it's not me.
It's true. I will talk about Myra too.
Yeah. So real quick, we'll just run down the line. Obviously, Barry's going to vote for Ong if Ong's on the list.
Yes.
Flip, who would you pick on part 1? Who would you pick?
I'm honestly gonna pick Cyrus because I think Roberta got the Neo Vision and he didn't, and he needs one. He needs one to battle her, and also he's a villain.
I like it. I like it. Sinzar, who would you pick on part 1 Glex units included?
All right. Well, it's generic and expected, and it's never going to be living up to the expectations. But I would still go for Zahn.
I love it.
He's right there at the top right of the title.
Yep, right there next to part 1. Sketch, what about you?
Melia.
Melia.
Sprite is awesome.
Melia.
Unit
Okay.
is not so much, and your intrinsics let me down. But I love Melia's Sprite.
Cool deal. Cool deal. I'm still feeling Beryl. And I know Beryl was already on like one of the ones that we voted on recently, but I think Beryl's such a cool unit.
Beryl was designed to be a Neo Vision unit.
For sure.
Like,
For sure.
before
Is
it was
Circe
even
on
a
this
concept.
list? Oh, Circe's on this list though too. That's tough between Circe and Beryl for me. Okay.
It's funny because I just heard 6 different ways to say Ong. It was great.
But what about period number 2? So period number 2, of course, is FFBE characters that are not included in the Glex pool. Who else would you guys be looking at?
This one's very difficult to pick one.
I agree.
Because like, my gut says Lunera, because it's still to this day. Flip and I were just talking about this. That was the best storyline or story event that FFBE has ever put out, and arguably one of the best character development story arcs in all of Final Fantasy. It was so tremendously well done.
Very good.
But the problem is, then you get, Shine and Sylvia, who that whole idea was made to be a Neo Visions unit with a Brave Shift. Or you get Luca could really use something fun or cool. Then you move into the 4 stars and the 3 stars. Like Sister would be a really cool looking NV unit just because she's got an incredible 3-star sprite.
Seriously.
I mean, Wilhelm will get love because Wilhelm deserves love. But what about Soze? Like, it's nobody has any idea who I'm talking about, and that's great.
Everyone associated with Jake's entire storyline, you mean?
Exactly. Exactly. Where's Neo Vision's Shara?
Heck, Jake.
Jake.
Well,
Jake and Lid don't
we can
exist
leave-
in the game anymore. So like,
We
yeah.
can leave them behind. That's okay.
Oh, okay.
I, of course, I'm going to vote for Medius 100%. But if I didn't have bias for that, I would probably vote for based on kit, like pre-existing kit and what they might do, like evolutionarily, like taking that kit into the future. I would vote for Chloe.
Okay, I could see
Because-
there being a lot of use for that for sure.
Because as a support unit, Chloe was amazing then. She could give elemental resistance to like everything at crazy numbers for the time. And if you brought her into the now, what would they give her? She'd be overpowered, hopefully. But I would definitely, but either way, I'm going to vote for Medius. He's my boy. That's it.
For me, since we can't use Final Fantasy units, Brave Exvius only, I would say I'm gonna go with Folka and Water Veritas with the Brave Shift mechanic. And she already kind of has a Neo-Vision's form with the Neo-Vision's Awakening. It's no good. So I would hope for the unit to be done right. I would want a top tier healer buffer in the Folka form, and I would want her to shift into a relevant water damage dealer in the shift form.
Maybe
and I would be so happy with that.
Maybe with a water leader skill that is good.
That'd be great too. Yeah,
Cherry on
for
top.
I would
I
love
mean,
to see Folka.
amazing healer in one form, amazing mage in the other form. Okay.
Yeah, that definitely. I would pull for that in a minute.
I like it. What about you, Sketch?
Alright, so my favorite FFBE unit, which I have talked about countless times if you're around me, is Lorraine. She has an MVA. I stand by that Lorraine's base sprite is the best sprite in the entire game. I very much liked all of her captain stuff from the Grand Shield arcs, and every once in a while you see her show up when Charlotte gets new units. She hasn't got a new unit, but Lorraine's sprite is so fantastic. And
that would be the global unit Lauren, right?
Yeah. I've been asking for a new Lauren for a really long time, and if I finally got one, like everyone's on, like I want more. Like I don't even care what she does as long as she's good at what she does. I really don't care. She can be a DPS, she can be a breaker. They can make her a healer, like put her back in the dress from the NBA form. I really don't care. But I really just want a new Lauren, and she was like top 20-ish on like the last voting. So like maybe without global exclusive she has a small chance. I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I always saw like why we never got like why do we get like NVA or NV, new character and not just like this character we already know, like NV Lauren. What why create new characters? We've got a huge library already, and we already have fandoms for them.
For sure.
It's true.
For sure.
See, the problem with players like us is we have so many fond memories of older units. I mean, lest we forget how incredible Soleil was when she got her enhancements.
That'd be another
Soleil
good
was
MV.
So I think,
Incredible.
in fact, I think I'm gonna go with Soleil because I used her for a long time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Soleil. I like the mechanic, so cool.
Man, she was so good.
Let's keep moving. So make sure you vote, obviously. And
For all.
yes, they went from that to going back to Aya's kit. So they describe Aya as a physical attacker that uses guns and has Clash of Wills only buffs that remove, or a Clash of Wills only ability that removes buffs and reduces healing for one enemy. Kind of cool. They show her here with Brave Shift unlocked. They don't talk about, doesn't seem like it's trance just from that description, does it?
It's true Brave Shift. You can tell because the little preview video they had, when it zoomed in on the cooldown, 0 turn cooldown.
Oh, that's
it's
perfect.
True Brave Shift.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's really good. And I love this. She's got the healer tag in the base form. Very cool. And then they showed the overall description: strong earth element physical attacker with healing capability, has ability that can cure stop, boost stop resistance, and reduce cooldowns of certain abilities for her by 1 for herself, and a Magnus ability that increases earth damage for all allies. I think they said 60% for 2 turns, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
it shows that on a future slide.
Yeah, and then Brave Shift is fire. So, and with a self only 180 amp for fire in Clash of Wills only.
New
Pretty
Earth
good.
leader.
Unfortunately,
it
not.
does-
Her leader skill is pretty bad.
Yeah.
But they just
Everyone in unison.
upgraded the old Earth leader.
We're gonna get to that too.
I hope the Earth side is good. The Fire side obviously will. I've been asking more people, especially Sinzar, every so often, like, hey, so what Earth units am I looking at? I want to use another unit that we hopefully get in the future. And unfortunately, JP doesn't have a lot of cool Earth things at all. So all global Earth stuff is welcome for me.
Yeah. For that one, you're waiting for Ramza, kind of far away.
Here is that Clash of Wills ability that they previewed just briefly. 1 use per battle, yay. Boost fire damage, LB abilities and magic. Fill the LB gauge, fill morale gauge. And here's in better detail. We're gonna press for the long description. 180%, 2 turns, can't be dispelled. 99 LB gauge and 1000 morale gauge. Pyrokinesis. We love.
Yes, it seems to be the same thing as Rick's, except Rick is light, hers is fire.
Yeah, we love these 1-use abilities though, for sure. And only Clash of Wills, so you're not taking her to Dark Visions unless you know.
Well, Rick has the same thing, but Rick also has a 150 for Dark Visions. So I would assume she does too.
Yeah,
certainly hope so.
Oh, that's a silly assumption. She's not premium.
Yeah, I was about to say she's not premium, Sinzar.
Well,
they also showed this ability 1 use for battle, reduce damage taken and boost Earth damage for all allies. Here's that 60%. Now, weirdly, also gives her 90% mitigation for 2 turns.
That's pretty cool.
Very cool utility. And
User as a provoke unit, yeah.
Yeah, increases her damage by 100% and everybody else 60%, which I think is a nice. It's a nice option. So like if you're running an Earth team and you've got Sylvie, for example, and you want to use Sylvie's 100 for 2 times, and then you can use this, you know, for 60% for a couple times, like or 1 time, I guess. But still, I mean, you've got 3 turns of reasonable AoE Earth amp.
Yeah,
it's there.
Not really great in Dark Visions, but it could be good for like a damage per turn in Clash of Wills,
or a long trial or something like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, neat. But again, only 1 use per battle. And then here it is, leader skill. Why?
Please pull other units to lead the party.
Seriously, probably Elena.
I mean, this is how you can obviously tell she's not a premium unit.
Well, we're gonna get to that too. But
well, then again, Rick has the exact same.
I was gonna say
literally.
Rick is the same one. Rick is the same one. Well, that's because they couldn't upstage Elena, you know. Flip was excited about this in the chat. Not a weapon STMR.
It's decent. Not quite as good as Clash Gear, but you know, for your 3rd, 4th, and 5th DPS, they definitely wouldn't mind having this.
Well, and for her,
or if you haven't, you know, grinded out all that Clash Gear, I mean, it's fantastic. Just pull the unit, boom, you're done.
Yeah, it's really good gear. The Trust Mastery is even really good.
65 attack, activates 250 attack for her, LB damage 50, and 50% true double hand. With 50% more if you're wearing her STMR as well, and 200% killers.
Now, when was the last time we got excited about a unit with a good TMR, an STMR that wasn't a weapon?
I feel like there was one recently.
It does sound familiar. Just not sure.
Yeah, it was only until the last month they started doing this non-STMR thing.
Which I'm glad about. I'm super happy that
it's fantastic.
It's great. This has double 100% killers for all the for the triple race cows. Like, even if it's worse than Clash Wills gear, like, you need the killers. These killers line up on the same boss. This item's premium.
Except that it's demon and human, like, again. Like, and as someone who goes over the demon and human killers every week, because there's always a demon and a human enemy that we fight during every week, Like
There's a bunch.
there is a bunch.
There's a
And
bunch.
that's like the most common killers, and it's a meme on Tuesday Preppers at this point. So,
But
you know.
but it being on this allows you to actually equip other things in your other
oh
slots.
sure, and that it's 100% for a chest slot is really cool. So I mean, I'm not like totally hating on it. It's just, can you please just give us a plant or an aquatic? 100%.
Oh, that would
Please.
be insane.
So very cool though. And then here's the vision card. And we kind of talked a little bit about this before we got started. Yes, it's a level 10 card, so that means she's not premium. 120 attack, 120 spirit. Interesting spread of stat there.
Is bad.
Good art. It's good art.
But it's not locked to any series or types of units. So like you can give it to everybody. It's got only attack and spirit 300 bonus stats. It's got killers for a bunch of different races, and true double hand on it, and LB damage. So I mean, there's a lot to it. It's just the base stats are bad.
Yeah, that's really like a major problem in the leader scout era. Like even just 120 versus 130, that 10 stats is multiplied by like 19 times when you go through all the modifiers that scale on that. It's just like a really big deal, especially when you're comparing it to like 140, 150, or the best 170 cards. It's just it's so far behind.
Yep.
So like the thought process for me on this is a new player card.
Hmm.
New player will get a lot of value out of this because they aren't going to have all the killers. They're probably not going to have enough gear because like when you're first starting out, like yes, you'll be they probably still give you enough like decent stuff for you to gear like 1 or 2 people. But like if you want to go into Clash Royales or a new player card, I think this could easily be on like your 3rd character. Now you're going to get way better things than this, right? It's not going to last forever. But for somebody that might be getting into the game for Parasite Eve or coming back to the game for Parasite Eve that hasn't played in years or something like that, I think this is fine.
Sure.
Obviously,
Which
you
I
can
think
do
is going
way
to be
better.
a lot of those people.
I think so too. You know what?
Also, I will mention, based on past history, the Clash of Wills unit per month has been always having a special card on their banner that they don't preview in the news.
Mhm.
So I would not be surprised if there's another one this month, and that's probably the card that's quote unquote really intended for her.
This one does not even have plant killer on it. So,
Mm-hmm.
and the boss is plant.
Ooh, that's
so.
a good catch. That's a good catch.
I can say even though this card is like this, it still makes me want to pull this month. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Now I will say, right here, if the card has the Parasite Eve opening theme as the background music, then that'll be like a must pull for me. I'm probably gonna pull her regardless, but I really hope it has the Parasite Eve opening theme as the soundtrack. Parasite Eve has a great soundtrack.
They did
You still have
say.
your copy?
Do you still have your copy, Sinzar?
Parasite Eve, I do somewhere in my PlayStation games. It's in my closet, buried somewhere. But I do still have it. It's somewhere.
Awesome. They did mention to make sure you play the event with your phone not muted because it's gonna have music from the event or the game.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, the whole
Amazing.
event has music. They said the pull screen and the fights all have different music.
Yep. They
That's so
made
cool.
special
Music.
mention of that. So hopefully we'll see. Now this was I think kind of funny. They made sure to tell us what other units we should go ahead and run with this character.
Oh man.
To make sure you had Flaring Ether Rain. Make sure you've got a premium leader, and Zaz, or Snavlinka and Hope.
I think this is set up for the new player, but also with a disconnect, not knowing that they probably won't have these units.
That's true, but I will, in their defense, at the very least, say this time these are actually good suggestions.
These are
Rain
getting better.
Is a good fire leader. Saz is a good fire support. Hope is a good earth support. Snavlinka is, well, I guess, the best earth leader. So it's a good suggestions.
These suggestions are definitely getting better.
So on the screen, and you guys might be able to answer this. I don't know the answer. If you're a new player, right? How much replica lapis do you get? Do you get enough? You can just choose rain.
0, because it's too late.
It's-
Yeah, so someone was actually asking the other day in help, like, where do I get this? Like, didn't you get it in your mail? They're like, no. I'm like, well, I guess you're not getting this.
I thought they were like, hey, you can just like go choose rain with your replica lapis and use with your Parasite Eve character. I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense, right?
Unfortunately, they missed out. That's over.
Very, very rough. Very rough.
I tried.
Nice thought though. I like that you're looking up for new players on tonight's video. This is good. So that was it as far as Parasite Eve. And then this was what really surprised me, like Buffon. So if I'm not mistaken, just from what I was seeing people talk about in chat, this is one of those Dark Vision's Abyss units, right?
Yes, and the way they presented this on stream, they even said at the top of the stream, I think you have it cut off in the slide, but they said at the top of the stream, featured Neovisions. I was like blowing the gas, like, are they trying to sell us this free unit as a banner split with I was like losing my mind. Thankfully, they said later on.
They came back and fixed it. Yeah, we're gonna get there. But yeah, so like a powerful mage, powerful is questionable, right? Earth and water damage, reduces earth and water resistance, cooldown ability with LB and SLB tag team attacks, and boosts the party's evocation damage by a whopping 100%. Was what they said in the stream. So there you go. Looks really cool. The unit does, I think. Sprite wise and animation wise, looked really cool. Here's the LB. Increases evoke damage by 100% for 3 turns to all allies, and 200% LB damage for everybody too, or for the caster. But cannot be dispelled. Why are they putting both the long description and the short description on here? This is the 3rd slide they've done this on. What is this about? I can't even tap for the long description.
So, Sinzar, is this character any good on JP?
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
No, it's basically a trophy unit. In JP, you do Dark Vision's Abyss, which in order to even do Dark Vision's Abyss, you're a top 3,000 player, which absolutely you do not use this unit if you're a top 3,000 player. It's kind of funny. It's the same thing with Sheraton. Like anyone that can get Sheraton doesn't need Sheraton. It's really a disconnect from the thing. He'd be usable for a new player, but a new player, I don't know how the ranking requirements. I'm assuming like top 2,000, top 3,000 to get this guy. So new players can't get it, and anyone that can get it doesn't need it because he's not good.
For this, it said collect tickets and get rewards.
We're gonna get to that one in just a sec. Yeah, I think they said something about this being like for completion rewards that everybody gets it.
Yeah, just do the event and collect tickets.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, by the way, Buffon has a leader skill. 300% for all evocation category units. So, like, why would you run this over like Rain for anybody? But there you go.
Okay, so real quick, I will actually mention. I'm just noticing this could potentially be a great new player thing because if we don't skip him within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we should be getting the Neovisions Awakened Supreme Diva Axstar. And he is like meta tier of levels, and he is an evocation unit.
Okay.
So that would be a leader for their freely UOC-able Axstar who can easily carry them through 99% of the trials in the game. Actually, all the trials. I literally used him on the Purgatory trial in JP and got it in like 6 turns.
Okay.
He's that powerful. So that's actually really good for new players to lead Axstar.
Something to keep in mind. Here's his TMR and STMR. Attack 119, magic 211. It's a sword. And it boosts his magic by 1500 and LB damage by 50. And then the synergy here is really cool, I think. Esper parameters evoked 30%, evoke damage by 40, and water resistance 30. It's kind of hard to build those for new players, the evocation damage. So I think it's cool that we're getting this.
It's not bad, I guess.
It's not bad.
Yeah, Evo abilities are hard to come by.
They are. Unless you pull a bunch of Neovisions units that have them, but like,
Well, that's different.
That is different.
So, for what it's worth, and Barry and I talked about this before the stream, his animations are really good.
Fantastic.
Looks
Like,
really
we were
cool.
like, oh, who is this? Oh, wait, I know who this is. I'm a little worried.
Now, in JP, though, who came first? The Dark Phoenix Hyo or this one?
Yo, okay.
So this guy, like Hyo is just missing, I guess.
Right. So that's where I was surprised by this, because this is all tied to Dark Vision's Abyss, and we've never gotten Dark Vision's Abyss. There's never been any commentary on Dark Vision's Abyss, even though we've been talking about like where is it for a long time. Like that's why this surprised me. So Yeah.
So here's my thing for that is probably, since this guy isn't known, this guy's Buffon, they can put this in as like a test first and see how well this works. And if this is good for them and good for us, whatever, then they might do the rain, or they might release him as a gotcha unit, or they're putting out the unit that isn't Hyo first.
An idea.
Maybe. Test the waters.
Test the waters.
That's a good way to handle it, I think.
It's a little disappointing to me just because the Phoenix IO, the skin, it's a rain skin, and I really like the skin, and that could be used on Flaring Rain as a battle skin. So it's just unfortunate that we don't have that to make Flaring Rain look just way cooler with the Phoenix wings and all.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's insane. I did not know that. That's really cool. Now I'm salty.
I forget that skin.
Yeah, skins definitely do exist.
Often.
It's just like, you know, they didn't update it very well. So this is gonna be Sketch's most favorite slide and least most favorite slide. Go
Oh boy.
go for it, Sketch. Talk about this slide.
Alright, so Sinzar, I don't know if you remember this or not. I was super excited about this unit. And this is like, you know what, she's a leader. I'm gonna ask Sinzar if this unit was good in JP when she gets here.
It's not Blanca?
Yeah. I was like,
she wasn't.
yeah, I know. That's why I was like, hey, well, I guess I should skip. She's not great. Global's got better options. She was the coolest part of Season 4 by a lot. I love her art. Skipped her and have not pulled her since. Now salty because she might be decent now.
Well, I didn't do the math, but I can just say like an extra, 130 modifier on the LB is not enough to carry a team, and Earth is just not really there right now. So I mean, it's buffs are great. You know, making a unit that's average to be slightly above average, I guess, but still just not meta here. I think she needed a little bit more than just this to save her, but it helps.
What about for people doing Garuda and the Princess trial,
Yeah.
who are trying to do Season 4 units?
Well, for Garuda, I mean, Tybus easily carries that, and you're getting Tybus for free next week. You know, jump ahead a little bit, but for the Byaka trial, absolutely, that's going to be a big help for Byaka, 100%. To do the Season 4 mission.
So, like, I personally don't have her, and immediately the first thing I went was, hey, let me go look into Lapis Replica, because I still haven't spent all of that.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, you can get her there, guaranteed.
She's not there.
Nope.
Wait, what?
You can get her
Just
fragments.
Shards.
It's not,
Oh,
It-
the shards, but not the
you can
pick.
get shards, you can't get her, because I had been
Ooh.
saving it. It's just like, I'm waiting on all these free pulls. I'm excited. I know what I'm spending it on. Link is really cool. She doesn't have to be meta, but she's at least usable now, I think, with this buff. Like, alright, cool. I'm excited. I want Earth stuff anyway, because I want Rydia later. Like, this is really cool. They even made the Parasite Eve character have an Earth side. It was like, oh, I hope the Earth side's at least decent, even if it's meant to be mostly fire. Maybe the Earth side's cool. Again, back to I want cool things for characters I like to run with Rydia, so I was all excited about this. Then she's not in the Lapis Replica, and I'm like, Umi, you better put this on a banner I can pull. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. This is not a popular opinion, this is a selfish thing. I want her on the banner for Parasite Eve. Like, give me some rate up on her. I want her.
Oh God, no! Please no.
That's maybe a little
Obviously, that's not gonna be a popular opinion.
standalone
but,
banner,
like-
maybe.
But like, that's what I mean. I mean, like, not sharing, like, not like sharing like a Bara did with like Alina, but like, give me a Snovlinka banner, because like, I want to own this unit, or give me a way that I can get it or something. Because like, if you're gonna do really cool buffs like this, like, this is gonna incite people to want to pull anyway, right? Like, let's say she was meta, she's not it, but like let's say she was like super meta, right? Why don't you just rerun the banner? Like, not saying they won't, but like, why don't you just rerun the banner? People will pull, right? Like, if this was a top tier damage unit now, like, hey, this is free money for you, right? To rerun you, like, reran a Bara, right? They buffed a Bara and they buffed. It was ungodly small, right? But like, they reran her. So like, I
mean,
hope they do
yeah.
something like this.
You take a unit that most people don't have, you change their numbers to where they're good, and you just put their banner back up. Pretty easy money, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like,
So something JP does is they constantly do this. They just for completely, it seems to me completely random. Like, you know, each, you know, JP's got their normal banners. No, I'm serious. And then at the bottom of the summon tab, there's like 2 or 3 just completely random stuff. Like right now, the Full Metal Alchemist banner is going on, and you scroll all the way to the bottom. I'm not sure who it is, but it'll be like, I don't know, dbarry, Ihana, and Furion will just be banners, you know, standalone banners. And if you want these old units, you can just pull them. They're just there.
Because as I understand it, there's a portion of the Japanese market that plays the game just on a complete collection, like checklist mode. So they run the other banners on just kind of like a let's run those units because some people might not have those because people play the game like a checklist.
But yeah, but I mean, but my thing is like, why doesn't Global just stick them banner? They don't have to have a dedicated week or event. Just stick a standalone Snovlinka, a standalone, I don't know, you know, whatever banner, rotating per week, and it just some people would pull on it.
Even if you
can't be like a
if you themed it around if you themed it around like elements that are going to go with that unit, like you know,
even that, yeah.
Dreaming too big there, maybe.
I'm going to try just not to get upset when I look at the news and there isn't like just a place where I can get her somewhere. Like even if it's like the lightning thing, like didn't they do something like that with lightning where like Zack and lightning and then
and
some other people like like even if like something like that, I just want a way to get Snovlinka without me like just effortlessly hoping I get one off banner, which we got a bunch of free pulls and stuff like that. But this was a unit that like I kind of already wanted because I just like her character so much. Like she's the only good part of season 4 to me, like period. It's the only reason I can tolerate it. And I was excited for her to come out, and then she was just kind of like mid. And like they're buffing her, so like this is super exciting for me, especially somebody that wants strong Earth characters. Like I cannot get that point across most because like I just want to. Hopefully we get ready and I get to run her later. Like I want the most fun party for me of characters that I like because that's like a big deal for me because like I don't mind making content harder personally if I can clear it with characters that I like playing with.
Right.
So like, and like that sounds kind of casual, but like I've beaten almost every content in the, like since the game has started. Like you can do it, right? If you're willing to work for it, like you can clear whatever you want with whoever you want to extent. Yeah, it's gonna be harder, and yeah, you don't have to have a meta unit. Like you don't need this specific TMR or this STMR to clear content. Like that's just a joke. But I really hope there's a way sometime, maybe even it's not this week, just sometime in the future, I hope they do that. Now you've mentioned the JP does something like that. But just rerun banners, because like I'm sure there's a couple of units that people want. Like I can't remember, maybe it is Ihana. Yeah, it's Ihana. I don't have Ihana. I would throw tickets at Ihana, like 100%. Like I just don't have her.
If they released a Titus banner right now, I would go for it. I still don't have him.
Oh,
everything is like use Titus STMR, and I'm like, I don't got that.
So
yeah, exactly. It'd be so good. Like so supposedly like you want to make more profits and stuff like that. Like you ran that on the man, I wish I would have known JP did that because I would have definitely typed that in on the survey. Been like, hey, just rerun some units. Like you might not make like a ton off of it, right? But it's next to no effort. It's reuse content that you have already done stuff for programming. You just got to put them into game. Sure, but like let's say that like you make like a couple. Like it's not a lot in the long speed of things, but let's say you make a couple of grand off of it, right? Cool. Every little bit helps. That's a no effort. Doesn't take away from other content. You can continue to do it, and then like it just make people happy. Like Ihana, I would throw tickets at Ihana. Snovlinka better comes out. I would honestly, with how much I like this character, now that she's gotten a buff, would consider using Lapis on it. Right? And then like I know that's kind of crazy for like a lot of people, but like I really like this character. I was just repeatedly told that like she was just not great, and like that's true. She was not great at what she was supposed to do. Like a lot of people thought she was underpowered. A lot of JP people were upset about her release, and they're fixing that. But like give us a chance to give you more money or like more resources or stuff like that, right? Like it'd just be cool. Anyways, sorry about the rant. I'm happy she's getting buffed.
I said this was going to be your least and favorites, your most favorite. It's all good. It's all good. But you know what? You might not get a Snovlinka banner. But you know what you might get is the Snovlinka Vision card. Randomly, when you pull a unit, you know, this card's going to be added to the pool.
So they're just going to add. This is the part I wasn't getting. Is they're just adding cards to the pool instead of like whenever you pull a Neo Vision, it might be a card instead.
No.
No.
When you
it's
when
like
you pull a
random
Neo Vision
card, you drop when you get one.
Yeah, and you get the Cookie Chef card. Now you might
Or
get
the-
this card. Now you might get this card instead.
Yeah, so
Great,
no more Earth
fantastic.
Shrine card, no more
Oh, no,
airship
you're still gonna
card.
get those. Just
Of
this
course.
is a rare proc chance.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how the wind
So this
card
is
should
pull-
be too.
So this is pull more Neo Visions so you can proc the card now.
Yes.
Yes, but the cool part about like this thing, and then like there's obviously other nothing's perfect, right? We're about to get a bunch more free pulls, right? You're gonna get envies off your free pulls. This is going to be in the pool. You could just randomly get this, and that just makes your like somebody super happy, right? Like, wow, this is a fantastic top tier vision card. Like, cool.
For Earth units.
Hey.
Sure.
Yeah,
Whatever.
but still, we're about to get an Earth unit, right? So that's cool.
Yeah. So where's the wind card? which
That's the thing. Where
That's
is
the one
wind
we're all
card?
waiting for.
I want that one too.
Yeah,
They're
hopefully.
waiting until Malphasy dies down a little for sure.
This is another thing that surprised me though, is because we knew that the wind card, we knew that this card existed, like, but we've been waiting for it. So like, I'm excited that it's coming. It's just nice that it's gonna be there. So. Cool. Then they showed us some stuff about the actual Parasite Eve event. They showed some gear. A 222-handed gun with 750 attack for Aya, and Demon and Human Killer on it. Yay! The heals are wind and dark resistance with LB damage, and this dark metabolism is 50% dark resistance with some resistance to blind paralysis and confusion.
I feel like all three of these are built to equip on her for the new player who just joined the game to pull her to run the event.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that
That gun might be best in slot.
It will be. Yeah. It's
This
gonna be
gun's
your
good. That's what I was about to say. It
Yeah,
has 750 flat on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be the best gun for her. I will say it is lore inaccurate because the Type 64 was from the Chrysler Building, and that was a very good gun in the game. But if they wanted to give her her best gun in the game, it's the P090. That's the best gun in the game, which takes hours and hours and hours of grinding to get. But they should have been lore accurate. They should have gone with that
Hey,
one.
that's from the week 2 trial.
Yeah, that's
That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
like-
that would be
That'd be
Like,
super cool.
that would be very cool. And it'll maybe not take hours and hours and hours of grinding.
No, it has to. It has to be lore accurate for Sinzar. We have to clear this boss 192 times.
They also said there's gonna be another event. I think this is like more of like the challenge type. I think they even said 1,000 lapis, if I'm not
They did.
mistaken, when they were showing this, which is kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
And more, our favorite, and more, always there. Super Trust tickets, mystery crystals, and whatnot. So cool. Birth of the Ultimate Being. So it sounds like maybe you're gonna get to see that Ultimate Being baby. Awesome. And then our favorite part. What I think is our favorite part. Another unknown origin boss. And Anthemosa?
Has at this point have nobody figured out where these things are coming from? Like,
Maybe if
Yeah,
there
it's
was lore accompanying it, we would know.
It's kind of unfortunate that it's unknown origin. This would have been the perfect opportunity for the baby of the event to be like the event boss, and then the ultimate form would have been the Clash boss. That would have been like so perfect.
Like even at like the
we're
different
getting-
echelons, like like progressing through its life steps, life
That would have
cycle.
been perfect, yeah. The baby, because you fight all the forms in the final thing. Because yeah, that could have been tier 1 could have been the adolescent, tier 2 could have been the young adult, etc.
Hire
But
me.
perfect,
save this
but-
for next month.
Hire
you know?
me. We can talk about these things. Human demon plant, weak to fire, earth, and dark. So there you go.
Or Lilymon from Digimon.
There you go. Somebody was saying that in chat. Here's the preview that they were saying that they showed us in the monthly bulletin. So nothing new here. It does boost its own parameters and use a powerful attack if you don't seal it with earth, fire, or dark. So just like every other boss. It does lower your healing efficiency and everything else too. But nothing new there. This is new though. So it says it has multiple weaknesses, so deal fire or earth damage to be effective. And it debuffs your party. It removes your ailment resistances and inflicts status ailments. It also recommends that you bring damage or units that boost your damage against humans, demons, and plants. And they recommend Ayabrea, of course. So Sinzar, I watched your preparation video, and you were building units without adding ailment resistance, and you said, I'm not sure if we're going to need this or not. How do you feel about that now?
Yep, right there. Remove status resistances, which means we are going to have to be immune to statuses from gear. So Dwayne is going to be very sad because he is going to lose some damage to fit that in. The rest of the unit should be fine. They can fit it relatively simply. But Dwayne is certainly going to take a hit to fit that.
Yeah. So
unless you use the armory ticket and get that helm that's a ribbon.
Unfortunately, what was that on? Was that on Kier? I skipped it. I don't have the armory ticket.
There's one like active right now, I think.
But what if
I don't remember.
What if the armory was on Aya's banner?
Oh God, don't do that.
Unfortunately, I'm still going to pick the fortress as my first option because I love that fortress material, and I'm really sad I didn't get it the first go around. But I'm really hyped about that fortress.
But then you would have had to pull for Kier.
Yeah, but I don't like it that much.
Awkward.
Something else that like is unfortunate is this boss isn't weak to lightning. So I'm kind of sad about that.
I'm not surprised though. I'm not surprised.
Oh no, not at all. I'm just enjoying my clear.
You can't roll out a 900 leader skill and expect it to be in effect for more than 1 month. So. Although everyone said that about Tsukiko, and they were like, "Oh, look, she's a mage, and she only does these locked elements," and like then we used her for like every month for like 6 or 7 months. It was incredible. It was great.
That's because she had a good support kit.
And the elements just lined up
great.
Yeah, I'm thinking about taking her to this one, honestly. But we'll see. So yeah, nothing terribly new. Bring Aya, yay. And then they showed us this. This is the thing about the Dark Visions. So they said participate in Dark Visions to get the Dark Visions exchange tickets and exchange them for Dark Dragon Buffon, and more. So that starts on the 28th. So we're gonna have Clash of Wills run directly into Dark Visions again.
Yep, overlapping. Which also means very, very likely we're going to be either getting Roka or Tyvis on the second week because they're the expected ones for the Dark Visions. They're probably going to have the Clash of Wills X element category. So anyone that is struggling with the season finale boss on Thursday might want to just wait a week and see if maybe a buffed premium leader can solve the problem.
There you go.
Season finale.
Yeah, this is the third boss of the season.
Yeah.
Oh, of Clash of Wills.
Clash of Wills, yes.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about the story for a second. Are we done?
No, is this?
I'm so far behind.
Is this not
I
the
have
first?
no idea.
Season? Is this not the first boss of the season? Because we had Ethne was the first one.
July, August, September is the quarter.
That was previous season.
Well, no, Ethne was when the new armor came out. Yeah.
July, August, September is the quarter.
Okay.
So this will be the final boss of this triune.
Okay. I'll take it.
Which reminder to get those awesome materials in the
Yes. If you haven't spent your things yet, go ahead and spend them. So there's that. And then they also, this is exciting for a lot of players. I hear this all the time. How do I get a Tyvis? Here's how you get a Tyvis. You're gonna do the new panel quest to get amazing rewards, including a guaranteed Neovision ticket, a Tyvis, a bunch of Lapis, VIP coins, and more, starting on the 28th. So I think for a lot of players who don't have a Tyvis, this is gonna unlock your game in a lot of ways because you're gonna get Tyvis Spirit STMR. Pretty cool.
I mean, you're gonna hear complaints from me. I'm one of those people. This makes EX2. Like, the only reason I have them at all was they gave them to us for free in like a story event or something with some shards.
There was a ticket exchange, yeah.
Yeah, like I just haven't pulled him the entire time he's been out.
Wow.
So here is the most important question. When we get the updated panel quest, have they updated the UI to stop confusing new players?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Swipe the bottom.
They have to gatekeep that, right? Because that's how we do. No, you know what they need to do? They need to add how do you use the panel quest to the new how to play the game Moogle. That can be step 2. Step 1 is get Lapis. Step 2 is swipe left. Excellent. Excellent. This is exciting. Series boss battles. Stay for Sephiroth, and the mission reward.
I am so hyped.
Mission reward
believe they're
is
doing
this
this.
ability with HP and MP 25% and all this stuff on it. It's got killers. It's got special stuff for Clash of Wills units and Final Fantasy VII. Very, very exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, this is kind of hard for me to read. So these abilities are like two different things, or like how does this work? Is like, it's like 100% if you fit the category or something?
Yeah, it's either you match the category or you don't. So the categories are Final Fantasy VII or Clash of Wills. If the unit does not match either category, this will only get the first few lines, which would be 25% HP MP, 50% to the primary stats, and 50% human killer. If you are Final Fantasy VII or Clash of Wills category, you're going to get all of it together. That'll be 150 to primary stats, 75% MP, HP, and 150 human killer, which is the most over budget materia in the game, and it's amazing.
Wow.
Genesis is so happy. That's I didn't even realize this earlier when I was watching the stream. That's insane. That's awesome.
It's a must get. So my question for you, Sinzar, is are you gonna stream this?
Absolutely. And I really desperately hope that they properly updated this, because say for Sephiroth, as it is currently in the game, the regular series boss battle is very, very mind-numbingly basic. It's like it's a super low effort. Like, let's just do this to check a box off by the JP devs, and they didn't care. It's super easy. So I really hope that Global just revamped the AI entirely and gave him a completely custom AI, because if it's just the existing series boss battle with higher stats, it's gonna be a nothing. Like, it's gonna be super easy. Even if it's so bulky you can't OTK it, like, the AI is nothing. It can be brainless. So
Did
I hope that
EXTs exist in GP?
they don't. No. This is global exclusive entirely. Yeah, them taking it back is completely global exclusive. This does not exist in JP. Yeah, but what I'm wondering is, because they have in the past taken like a JP content and just raised the stats and given it to us on global again, once or twice, like from old events and stuff. So I just hope they didn't just take the boss and say, hey, let's just triple the stats and there's your content, because that'll be underwhelming and boring. I hope they updated it for real, kind of like Morgana. Like Morgana, when they added her to Chamber of Vengeance, it wasn't a copy paste. They actually tweaked the AI and made it, updated. So I really hope they did that for this. But regardless, I'll still stream it, or maybe not stream, or we'll stream it. That'll be fun. And then if it's like really hard, you can go in there and just get destroyed.
It could be a nice pickup for Clash of Wills, though. Being able to give a Clash of Wills unit 150 human killer could potentially be very, very gear efficient.
Yes, and for me, I'm looking at it more as your tank. Like this on Elena, who was already slightly hard to gear with stat percentages. That like one slot was like, that's amazing. 150 defense, spirit, and then 75 HP and MP, because she's kind of mana hungry. That's just top tier. Not even counting the killer. Who cares? Just a tank materia is amazing.
Yep, very cool.
Knowing how kind of like stingy they can be sometimes with free stuff that's really good, I actually think that this is going to be really difficult, and they're going to up the AI a lot.
I hope so. I really desperately hope so, especially if it's permanent content. It should be. Yeah, it is. Look at it. From the 28th until forever.
Yep.
So please give us hard permanent content. I'll be so happy.
Yeah, exciting times.
This is so cool. Like, I'm obviously very biased in liking a Final Fantasy VII unit, but like this is like on top of the ring gear, which we've discussed in the past when like the rings got the killers. Like, this is such a big Genesis buff, because this helps with slots.
Is it
a lot?
Is it though? Honestly speaking, I mean, because Genesis just by default caps magic, so really it's just 75 MP, which is it's definitely better than what we currently have, but it's really just 25% more MP for Genesis.
Think of the amount of time it's going to save players from having to keep re-rolling that sword to get that 40% MP.
That is true. I'm still re-rolling forward.
Same.
No comment.
So that was partially what I was getting at. Is this like you could theoretically re-roll Item World forever and not get good rolls for that, but the other part is like, so as everybody that uses Genesis knows, he uses all of his slots, right? Like just on different various things. You don't like, if for some reason that you needed it, you don't have extra slots to be like, I need some more HP, or I need some higher defense. You don't have the slots for that really. So like, I just think that this is such a big deal for him, because like, while we may not have that content now, like you may want that stat somewhere in a really hard fight where he's just too squish because of like all the other stats, and now you're not losing other stats to compensate. That's my thought process.
And it's really good for other units too. For example, Nora has very low percent magic, so 150 in one slot for Nora is just like
True.
really good. Really good.
Awesome. And it's kind of funny, as for anyone who doesn't know, there's a Discord group for these calls that we kind of like talk about stuff that maybe we're hopeful for, or salty about during the stream or whatever. And one of the things we were talking about today was, what do we really want for the game? And permanent, not series locked content came up, and series boss battles came up in the discussion today. So kind of cool that we actually got to see this on top of everything else. I'm excited too. Now from that we went into login bonuses. So we're getting Leftia, we're getting Ayabrea fragments, 1500 lapis and more throughout the span of the login bonuses. Nothing too surprising there. I kind of enjoyed getting 50 fragments for Addison Rae, so I'm kind of sad to see us going back to 30, but whatever. What are you gonna do?
It just brings back the point that it's another thing they glazed over, is the complete lack of easily obtainable shards now. So we're back to 30. As far as we know, they have no signs of going back to 50 fragment bundles. You're gonna double charge us, people who want to spend money, to get the same amount of shards that you used to be able to get for half the cost. The only saving grace is that because it's a limited time collab, we know, and it's not premium, we know we'll get some shards in the VIP immediately, but it's still it's a big problem, and there's been no signs to address it.
Yeah, I really wanted them to, like, I didn't think they would, but I really wanted them to address that about like the cost changes and stuff like that, and they don't have to, right? Like them as a business does not feel obligated to do stuff like that, so that's understandable. However, I was just kind of curious they were willing to like talk about that kind of stuff, and I'm kind of concerned, and then not fully concerned, but like interested in seeing what the collab banners look like. I was really hoping they would show us them in the stream, and they didn't, so like that was kind of like a sad thing for me, because that's not something they normally do. But like with a lot of the complaints that people have had lately about like prices on regular units and premiums, I just think it would have been like a thing of good faith that they could have been like, hey, this is what your collab banner looks like, because while this was asked for a long time ago, there's still people that are going to be extremely excited about this collab. And like one of my friends that hasn't played in a really long time is like literally starting again because he played around that time period and just like, oh, this is cool, well, I'll check the game out again. Like, and there may not be countless amounts of people that do that, but the fact is, like, people are just going to be curious, and like with the price hog things, like I just hope we don't get collab banners that are like 80k or something like that. That's just, obviously that's a large number, but I'm just a little worried.
I think the reason that they didn't put out all the banner information for this is because the actual news comes out tomorrow. And they didn't want to clog up the stream because a lot of new players might be watching this or whatever. So they were just like, let's get the hype out there, and then we'll put out all the numbers stuff in a few hours.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You don't have to wait too long. But one thing that's really cool for new players is a free daily 10+1 with a 3% rate for Neos, limited to once per day for 2 weeks.
What are you talking about? That's good for new players. That's good for me.
Yeah, it's good for everybody. For sure.
Hey,
More transcension pearls.
I need that Earth card, and I would like multiple. So like, give me some Earth cards with my free MVs. You know, like
But
that's
what's the
that
drop
would make
rate
me
on it,
happy.
man?
I want to ask.
Yeah, you don't want to know
Man.
that one.
Look, even the chance of it being there instead of my millionth airship card or Earth Shrine card it's enough.
Yeah,
So-
like
So of course, Global is going to do global things and whatever they want. But I will say on JP, even though JP has all the vision cards in the pool, I've pulled like 6 of these elemental cards. So it seems like the rate is the same as any other card. Not like a rarer rarity. Global can obviously set their rarity whatever they want, but in JP it seems like they just have the same rate as any other card. I've pulled a bunch of them in JP.
And then they showed the free polls are really exciting, obviously, for everybody. And then they showed this, the future plans for Clash of Wills. This sounded kind of confusing to me. Like they're planning on adding a new mechanism where fulfilling certain conditions will triggers a bonus time, and defeating them during that presents a bonus score. Like maybe this gives
Like
you
like kill it on a specifically turn 7.
Yeah, maybe, or like maybe it's like if you don't want to turn all the modifiers on, maybe when you trigger the bonus, then you get enough points to push you into a rank 1 even if you don't have all the modifiers turned on. Like I'd be really curious to see how this goes.
Yeah, based on the way Clash currently works, like the rank 1 isn't like hard capped at that number. It's just that's the highest possible. You can't go any higher. But if they add this, and if it's the way it sounds like, it's just another hoop that everyone has to jump through to share rank 1. Which really, it feels like it's just narrowing your strategy. Because as you say, like if you can turn on bonus time on turn 7, and someone is able to kill the boss on turn 7, well, everyone has to do that to match their score. So it just feels like it's really limiting your options on team building and strategies and all. If they just cut your turn from kill it within 10 turns to kill it exactly on turn 7. I'm just using that as the example of whatever the bonus turn would be, but you're going to have to do that if that's going to be a score increase, because that's going to be the highest score, which means you have to do that to tie rank 1.
Now, it does also say in the future Clash of Wills update, we are planning to add a new mechanism. It doesn't say which future.
It
just
could
says-
be this one.
It could be. We could find out about this tomorrow. 6 hours from now. Who knows?
See, if that's the case, to me that puts up red flags, because that means that they're going to release whatever Clash unit that month to have its rotation keyed in to perfectly fit the bonus time.
You know what
Which
this
means once again you're pulling the Clash unit every single month if you want to rank 1.
And you know what this current Clash of Wills unit has that would line up perfectly with this? Healing reduction on the boss.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out
Yeah.
there. So we'll see. We'll see in a couple hours. Interesting stuff. I mean, they did promise updates. They've been showing these future plans for Clash of Wills every live stream since they talked about that. So I'm glad to see it. Kind of sad. They said you're getting the usual stream gifts. Here we are. Cold Enlightenment keys.
Hey, it's free. I'll take it.
I'll take it. Yeah, but you won't take 500 lapis for filling out a survey.
correct.
It's different. That's different.
I don't have to do anything. I just sign up. Cool. And then this was really funny. We understand global players are unsatisfied with the global original unit, so based on the feedback, we're gonna look at changing her. Complain.
This is
No
amazing.
timeline.
This is
No
awesome.
timeline.
True, but this is just like the top peak of like customer service or whatever you want to call it. Like the fact that they're just not blowing off feedback. I love that. They have, like, people have really been upset that Ella Spears has been underwhelming. There are some people that point out that, yes, in the specific niche of a dedicated dark team, she's not bad. She actually has a use. But overall, she's not up to the standard of what we're expecting from global units. And people have, given feedback about that. And, like, what has it been? 2 weeks? Like, her banner just closed. So 2 weeks later, they're like, we have heard you. We're going to do something about it. Now, of course, that could be blowing smoke. Maybe they mean in 2025 they're going to give her a 5x mod boost. But hopefully within a reasonable time frame, they're going to do something to make her, feel on the same level of Malphase or one of the other units that people are happy about. And that's great. That's great. I just really hope if and when they do this, they rerun her banner, because I skipped her for obvious reasons. And if they make her good enough, I will happily pull for her. Just give me the opportunity. Gumi, let me give you money.
Hey, it's the Snoblinka thing again.
I mean,
Give me
yeah.
a Snoblinka banner. Let me pull.
It's true.
Yeah,
If they make her good enough, I will happily go to pity.
I can see that, but it is nice to see that they are acknowledging, hey, yeah, this was an oops. We see you're unsatisfied. We're gonna look at it. Hopefully soon. And that was really it as far as the slides go. All in all, I'm gonna say this was a really great stream.
I liked it.
This was way above expectations.
Yeah.
I think if we could somehow get this quality of stream every time, I think that'd be good for morale in general for a lot of players in the community.
I completely agree. This felt like the way I kind of like remember the streams to be in previous years. It felt hype. It felt good. More of this.
Even down to Tony's energy. Like, he was fantastic tonight. He felt excited to be here.
Yeah,
And for me-
it was good.
And for me, I'm really glad they're doing a global exclusive collaboration with, I might be biased for me, but it seemed like a lot of people in the chat like, oh, that's a cool game. I'm glad they're collaborating with that. I want to see more of that. Like, Deus Ex and Nier, all these are global collaborations that were relatively well received. So hopefully they do it again. There's a ton more,
There's so many global games that they could collab with, and they should.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah, ones that people have just been clamoring for years. I don't think a stream goes by that they don't talk about. Someone doesn't say Chrono Trigger.
Well, I mean, they can't do that one.
I know.
But if you get these niche games like Deus Ex or whatever, it brings in players from those, So it works really well for them.
Yeah. Cool. Well, is there anything else that anyone wants to just, burning questions, got to say something before we let you go? I know we all got to go to bed. Yeah. Anything else? Final thoughts?
It's Ong's time. Make it happen.
I think I'm good.
Cool.
I'm excited to see the news in a few hours.
Yeah, for sure.
I will try to stay up for the news. We'll see. Star Ocean collab next, please.
Good stuff. Well, thanks you guys for hanging out with me late, and thank you for everybody who's been watching for this time period. Always fun to bring you guys these and have a nice long chat. So I'm gonna let you go, and you guys have a great night. And to everybody watching out there, you have a great night as well. And we'll see you, I guess, today for Tuesday Preppers. Take care, guys.
Later.
See ya.